Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to Go Giants Episode 2. I'm your host, Mr. Mini Guy. This is the Bears postgame show. Tough loss to swallow. We almost come back, but we just simply run out of time. All there is to it. In today's show, I'm going to go you through the recap of the game, some statistics, and where we stand in the division. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Early on in the first quarter, the Bears get the ball at the 23-yard line and start driving the ball down the field, including a pass to Allen Robinson and another pass to David Montgomery, causing him to break a couple of tackles, leading him to score a touchdown. When the Giants get the ball, Daniel Jones has the football stripped from his hand, causing a fumble which ends up getting recovered by the Chicago Bears. The Bears have the ball around the Giants' 20. Luckily, the Giants' defense is able to put a stop to them, settling them for 3, leading the Bears to go up 10-0 in the first quarter. On the very first play of the second quarter, Barkley gets the ball off of a run. However, during that play, he ends up injuring himself. Medical examiners think that it could be a torn ACL, which will leave him out for the rest of the season. Right before the end of the second quarter, Trubisky throws a pass to Mooney in the end zone, catching it for a touchdown, leading the Bears to go up 17-0. On the last play of the second quarter, the Giants attempt a 57-yard field goal. Unfortunately, it is missed wide left. Early on in the third quarter, a tip pass from Trubisky is intercepted by Julian Love. The Giants capitalize off the interception, kicking a 39-yard field goal to make the score 3-17 Bears. Late in the third quarter, the Giants drive the ball down the field, leading to a touchdown by Dion Lewis early in the fourth quarter. Halfway through the fourth quarter, the Giants drive the ball down the field, however are stopped on third down, leading them to successfully kick a 37-yard field goal, making the score 13-17 Bears. Even though the Giants' defense successfully stopped the Bears from scoring, the Bears burned off a lot of time and went far down the field, causing the Giants to get the ball with no timeouts as they had to use it for the defense as they got tired during that drive. The Giants show a lot of fight despite not having any timeouts nor having that much time on the clock. They drive the ball down the field play by play, however, unfortunately, a pass in the end zone is incomplete, runs out the clock, causing the Bears to win 13-17. It's really unfortunate that we didn't have enough time, as if we did, Daniel Jones would have for sure somehow find a way to score a touchdown, causing us to win. This is a tough pill to swallow. I know it's unfortunate, but we end up losing this game. Difficult to take this one, but there's always next game against the 49ers next week at home. And that's all for the recap. Now it's time to look at some statistics. Looking at Daniel Jones' stats, he completes 25 passes out of 40 with a percentage of 62.5. 240 yards total, throws no touchdowns, throws one interception with a rate of 68.9, taking 4 sacks. Now, honestly, if you look at last week's stats, he actually does worse than this week, but you got to remember that he also created 2 turnovers instead of 1, so if you want to count that as a turnover like he did last week, you can. But I think this can kind of show a story that stats don't matter all the time, because in my personal opinion, I believe that people can debate that he actually did better in this game than he did last game. Looking at Saquon Barkley's stats, out of 4 rushes, he rushes for 28 yards with 7 on average. However, you may argue that his stats look bland, and obviously you can probably tell in the top right corner with that symbol. And what I've said earlier on, that he got injured with a torn ACL in the game, which could possibly put him out for the rest of the season. Most likely it will. It's unfortunate. I hope Barkley gets well soon, but for now, we're not going to be seeing Saquon Barkley for a while, which is unfortunate since he got injured last year as well. As for our receivers, they all do pretty okay in this game. Golden Tate having 47 yards out of 5 receptions with an average of 9.4. Sterling Shepard having 29 yards out of 4 receptions with an average of 14.5. and Darius Slayton having 33 yards out of 3 receptions with an average of 11. Lastly, we'll talk about Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram does so much better in this game than he did last game, having 65 yards out of 6 receptions with an average of 10.8. Looking at the standings for the NFC East, in first place is the Washington Redskins. Yes, I said Redskins, at 1-1, with their next game traveling to Cleveland to play the Browns. In second place, the Dallas Cowboys, who somehow managed to come back with the Falcons. Well, that makes a lot of sense. It's the Falcons. Falcons are choke artists. Their next game is going to be a difficult one, traveling to Seattle to play the Seahawks. And third place is us, the New York Giants. As we know, we lost 2 games already. Our next game will be at home, facing against the 49ers, which will be a difficult one. I'll give you what I believe that the score will be in a second. And last, but definitely least, the Philadelphia Eagles, 0-2 as well. And they'll stay at home to play the Bengals. And, tough loss for Philly. Actually, no, it was a really bad loss for Philly to get the brakes beat off of them by the Rams. And now it's time to go on to my prediction. Listen up, ladies and gentlemen. As much as I hate to say this, as a Giants fan, I try to be optimistic yet realistic. And being realistic, the 49ers are a good football team. They really are. Yeah, I know that there's the Giants and the 49ers have sort of a history of being rivals, with most of their games being in the playoffs or having some type of playoff implication. But the matter of the fact is, the 49ers just went to the Super Bowl. They're still a good team. We won't lose without, having a fight, because, we've showed that in the Bears game that we're not going to go down without a fight. Unfortunately, though, I do have us losing 21-28. I hope you enjoyed this video, second episode of Go Giants, and, well, as always, Go Giants.